RXP at 1039.
RXP at 1039. Cannot wait to see her opening up for Imagine Dragons coming up October 14th at the Pepsi Center. Happy to have Flay on the show this morning. Hello.
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 Hey.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Kind of, sort of. Like the weird, I feel like we just saw you, but it's awesome that you're talking to us again sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you can't get rid of me. It's a curse.
We don't want to.
We'll take it. We'll happily trade you for some other people around here if you ever want a follow-up job. I got a list. But I'm also hateful. So,
People we would like to replace with Flay at the station. That's a great list.
It's a fun game.
It sounds like this could cause the end of some friendships. I don't want to
Like they were friendships to begin with. Come on. I got to tell you, since you were here last, I do not think I have taken Everywhere Somewhere out of the CD player in, 3 months.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's so good. There are those albums you have where you click through. There's always one or two songs where you're like, click through that one to get to one you really like. There isn't that on this disc for me.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
We've been laughing because myself and Sean that works on one of our sister stations, we were talking because we're both a little on the older side now. We're both in our 40s now. And so both of us were laughing. I'm like, where was Flay when I was in my 20s? Because this album would have been my 20s soundtrack.
Yeah, well, I was actually just saying to somebody yesterday, a friend of mine, that I was not an angsty teenager at all. I was actually a very well-adjusted, content teenager, and I think all of that angst I just sort of saved up for later in life.
It's serving you well.
Thank you.
The 20s seem to be a time of making your own decisions, trying new things, and a lot of stumbling on the way. And I don't know how many times I would date somebody and then we'd break up and then I'm like, oh my God, not only am I never going to get married, I'm probably never going to have sex again. And this is horrible, and I don't care if he was a jerk. I should have made it work. All of those things that later on down the line you look back and laugh at the time, but it's so integral to growth as a person. And I'm not going to lie, it's kind of nice to relive some of those memories on the other side of it with songs like You Felt Right.
Well, I feel like, a big part for me, when I think about just sort of life and how music figures into my life, which obviously it does in many ways, but it's so much a way for me to hash out the gray areas. Because I think when you're really young, things seem quite black and white in certain ways, and then as you get older and you have experiences that are nuanced and complicated and confusing and sort of morally ambiguous in every dimension, you're sort of what, yeah. So I feel like for me, music is one of those ways where I'm letting my kind of heart and mind try to sort some of that out. It maybe to no avail, but I'm trying, which is good.
No, it's like poetry, and I mean that in the best way, Albert Goldbarth that I love as a poet sort of way, where it, some of the things it evokes in your lyrics are so great because it either makes you feel something or you're picturing something in your mind. And I just think that's the key to an amazing song.
Well, thank you. I'm getting you're boosting my self.
Yeah.
This is I feel really good right now. I'm kind of I'm actually, it's funny, I'm getting ready. I have a couple days off at the moment, and so I'm recording in Nashville, which is where, strangely enough, I've ended up making a lot of music, even though, prior to a year and a half ago, I had essentially no connection to this city.
Cool.
But I'm about to go into the studio, and I'm actually working on a new song that I just wrote yesterday that I'm really excited about. And now having this conversation, I'm feeling very inspired. So thank you.
Nice work, Coma.
And now, even more fun is the big news of you joining Imagine Dragons on tour, and that would include the October date at the Pepsi Center.
Yes, which is crazy. It's going to be cool. I've played a few, one-off arena shows opening for other artists, but this is going to be the first, proper 2-month tour of doing that, and I'm really excited. It's kind of like a whole new frontier for me.
What is that process like?
Well, it's always different. In this case, I've known Dan for a year and a half or whatever now, and by virtue of that, have met the rest of the band, and just really, I've gotten to see their show and kind of understand what their live experience is like. And I think, in a lot of ways, it just sort of kind of made sense both on a personality level and on a music level.
Nice.
And, but yeah, it's totally, honestly, it can be crazy how tours come together. Like sometimes it's a super corporate thing where some weird puppeteering forces. I don't even know. I've never been involved in a tour like this, but where it's super kind of more on the pop side of the world, and therefore so much more of it has to do with album cycles and all kinds of things. In this case, it was really just my relationship with Dan that kind of opened up this door to meeting the band and having the opportunity. So it was it just felt like a really natural, good thing.
Hey, quick question. Do you think that you can, while you're on tour, talk Nico Vega into getting back together again too while you're there?
Okay, that's a lot of pressure. They just have twin infants.
Oh God, I didn't know that. Never mind.
Yeah, I think the pause may need to remain for a sec. But Asia actually just put out, who's Dan's wife, who's singer of Nico Vega, just put out a solo record 2 months ago or something, I think right before the twins were born, which is awesome. I actually saw her play most of it acoustically in LA, and she sounded amazing. Her voice is incredible. So
all right,
you can have that in the meantime.
That'll tide me over then. All right, so on top of the exciting Nico Vega news for me and the exciting news that you are coming along with Imagine Dragons to the Pepsi Center this October, you have even more exciting news.
I wanted to do something special for the upcoming Imagine Dragons tour. So in Denver on October 14th, we're giving away a pair of tickets to the show, my new record, Everywhere Somewhere, on vinyl, signed by me, a bunch of merch, and an exclusive backstage experience.
That sounds amazing.
You've done this before.
Woo, that was good. I feel confident.
As well you should. Details on how you get in on that amazing once-in-a-lifetime prize. We'll give you those as we get a little closer to that October show. But again, we're getting the beep that says we have to let you go. So thank you so much. Love the album and looking forward to seeing you back through here in October.
Okay, amazing. Thanks, guys.